All right, here, I've cut that one. My camera shut off and limbed it up, which I got a short of it because my wife was recording, but for some reason, my phone decided to shut off. I hope it don't shut off on this one. This one's got a hard lean to the right. I mean, this tree right here is fairly straight, and that's how much it's leaning over. You know, this tree, I'm saying, is fairly straight. And you can tell it shoots up, but it's got head lean out that way. So I'm gonna I've got it faced up kind of that way, and I'm gonna try to just leave a bunch of hinge on this side and just work it over. I don't care if it breaks off and falls straight towards that oak stump there or whatever. The main thing is I just try not to tear their driveway up and or hit that vehicle right here, the house behind me or whatever, you know. So I don't think it don't have any lean backwards really, but I don't want to tear the driveway up. I don't think it would mess it up even if I did. If it did go awry and fall out that way, because I'm gonna try to get it to fall fairly slow. You know, if you cut a lot, you can leave a big hinge and get them to fall slow or get them to fall fast. So I'm gonna try to do like a little bit of a Dutchman, swinging Dutchman. Cut most of my wood off here and leave this, you know, thick on this side. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm hoping it does all right. I'm gonna go grab my hard hat real quick. And like, here's my face cut. It's kind of shallow. I got a shallow face cut. Normally on a lean tree, I don't cut a big face cut, just cause, you know, I want to leave it to where I can, that way, if, you know, you got one leaning bad and you cut a big face cut, then sometimes that tree will set down on you, on your lean. Right out of the left, it's blowing actually the wrong way. much more till I get it lifted up the way that I want to get it lifted, because I'm afraid that hinge is going to break off. It's starting to break now. It's going to go the wrong damn way. I'm fairly certain of it. I'm afraid it's going to go the wrong way. I don't know how much it's got on the lift part of it, you know. It'll just go out there. Or down the line, the wind's not helping me at all. The wind's kicked up. I just hope my hinge holds it good enough to keep it straight, and that's going to be the problem. I tried this on this tree because it's not very critical. I mean, it is, but it's not a tree that if it goes awry, it's going to hit somebody's house or vehicle or something. You get what I'm saying? But I might should have done it a different way, really, because it's popping like hell. It's fixing to go, and I don't know which way it's going. I'm actually a little nervous about it, because I need it to go. I need it to pull over that side. It's just cracking and popping. Worked out beautifully. I didn't think that some bitch was gonna go the way I wanted it to go, and it worked out. It's like I say, it's one of them deals. Excuse the language. Not really nervous because anything's gonna mess up, but just as a tree cutter, and I'm not saying I'm the most experienced, you know, I'm not the tree cutting guru like some people are that's got YouTube channels, but or that don't have YouTube channels, that like to comment on everybody's shit, but they don't ever put what they do out there for everybody to see. You know, you don't want to mess up, and I show everything pretty much. I don't ever, if I screw something up, I show it, because I'm not gonna hide what I do. Nobody's perfect, and people get hung up, and stump's a little higher than what I normally would do, but I'm just gonna tell you, on a tree that is leaning, or you got a wedge or whatever, it's gonna take some work on the stump. You ain't just gonna go up there and snipe it off and cut it and it falls where you want it to go. I typically make my stumps a little higher so I can be comfortable. I don't want to be these banging wedges and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So it's just one of them deals. We got it over. We did tear some limbs out of that little maple there, but maybe it'll come back. If it don't, it's a pretty straight tree, so it'll be easy to fall, you know. Like I say, I didn't have to fall it. It ain't gonna grant me no huge logs or anything, or a lot of money logs, because it's somewhat hollow too, and that's what had me nervous too. It had a bad seam in it. And but you know, the deal is they was nice enough to let me come out here and cut and take these logs, and so I done it as a favor. And plus, I'm gonna haul a load of logs. I still got that white oak there, and this maple that I cut the other day, and maybe a few other little logs. And if I can add to it, even if they don't bring that much, I'll add to it. But I will say, I was a little nervous when I heard that popping. And I'll show you the stump. I mean, I left it pretty fat, you know, on that deal there, and pulled fiber out of that old rotten shit. But I ain't worried about fiber pull. Not on this tree. It ain't like it's a good saw log. I'm gonna have to dock it off. I use this for firewood, but I'm gonna have to dock it off up there at that seam and take a crooked knotty part for a log. So it is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna get the limit up. I'm using the 562. I didn't even bring no big saws. I got the 562. I've got the Amazon saw and the stock 562 and the 550. I didn't bring no big saws because I knew I was just gonna be doing this, loading up firewood or logs or whatever, and falling these. Well, I fell this one the other evening. I didn't fall it today, but I did limit up today. I did take one log out of it. But this is the only tree I fell today. That's why I had to go get my hard hat. I don't typically wear my hard hat when I'm just cutting trees because, as you can see, I mean, it ain't windy too bad. There's a breeze, but there ain't really just tons of trees around for anything to blow on my head. So I'm not wearing that hard hat unless I have to. And plus, that's not my most favorite hard hat in the world. It's nice because it's got the built-in muffs or whatever, but the headband ain't very comfortable. And like that old tin cap I wear, I can put the band in it that I want to put in it. So it is what it is. Like I say, just watch what I do, don't do what I do. And if anybody don't like what I do, then you don't have to watch me. Pretty simple. Clean this stump up with this old 562. We'll get that. I'll make clean it up. Let this baby eat. For a 60cc saw, man, this thing is remarkable. It's light. I've got my 500i and my 400C off to be ported. I sent them to Cajun Aaron. Cajun's got the 400C going to him. Aaron should be getting the 500i anytime. The giveaway saw arrived at Sean Wilson's house, and I shipped some parts for a guy that bought the 462. I'd forgot the bar that I told him I'd give him and the original muffler cover. I sent the bark box, but he wanted the factory exhaust cover because he lives out in California, and you know they're all weird about how things are done. And yeah, so when I get the 400C and the 500i back, man, then those are real light saws, and they should be some stout ass saws for sure. And but I'm still gonna run the Huskies because the Steels, I mean, I'm gonna run them both, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to run. After I got these ported, it was hard for me to run the 500i and the 400C, even though they were light. They're light. The 572 is a little heavier than the 500i, but golly, it's cutting like a 592. So, you know, the power to weight, the 572 was still better than the 500i ported. So when I get these back, what I'm gonna do is if I just go to fall a tree here or there or whatever, not got a lot of bucking, I'll probably use the Steels because they're a little worse on fuel. They don't get as good fuel mileage as the Husqvarna does. And it could be some too, they don't hold as much. They hold like an ounce or two less. The 400 holds like 20, the 562 holds like 21 point something ounces. And then the same with the 572 and the 500i, it's like maybe 25 ounces, 24 or 26, 20, I can't remember exactly, I looked it up. But they don't get as good as fuel mileage. And who knows, I may swap out and run saws, you know, bring all four of them and swap them out as I'm running them or whatever. Because they're all really good saws. You know, Stihl, Husqvarna, Echo, they all make great saws. It just matters what you want. And some do run better stock than others do, and they are lighter, you know. That's just the name of the game, but then some may have more torque. So it's just all in what you want, how you're going to be cutting. But I'm going to tell you what, Aaron and Cajun do a really good job porting saws. And I know you hear a lot of people on YouTube saying you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that to make a saw run it better than, you know, run better. And I believe that, you know. But to get a saw to run, you know, to get a 562 or 572 to run with a saw that's 20 cc's bigger, to me is really an accomplishment. And to me, you know, you can make pistons lighter and you can do tricks with air and do all this and that, but if you're not doing machine work, and some saws don't need machine work, I'm not saying that, but if you're not doing machine work and your porter ain't doing the most that he can do with a saw, if they're not charging you, you know, the average price for porting, I guess that's okay. But if you're going to pay $300 to $400 for port work, to me, I want a saw that's going to be running good, and somebody that's took the time to do as much as they can do to build a strong, reliable work saw. You know, I'm sure Aaron and Cajun could have done more to these and made them run a whole lot hotter. But I told him, I said, I just want good, strong work saws. I don't want a cookie cutter because I'm going to be working with them. These saws, the 572, 562, are easy to start. I used the decomp because the compression did come up some on them, but it's not unbearable. Like, it's not a bear to pull over. Like, they're still starting them, and the running and everything, the restart is better than the stock. And as far as the compression pull on them, you know, it's stronger, but it's not much different than stock. It's, you know, running them is enjoyable is what I'm getting at. You get some guys that, you know, build all this great big compression, and the saw's probably stout, got all kinds of torque and everything, but, you know, hell, in the wintertime you can't pull them over and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what these guys do. These saws, short blowdown, long blowdown, or whatever. I'm pretty sure they are in the short blowdown game, and you hear people arguing about it. But all I'm gonna say is they make power without having a saw that is terrible to start and finicky idling and all that kind of shit. This saw cuts with the Makita 7900, and the 572 cuts with the 592. So I don't know what the horsepower ratings are and all that kind of crap, but actually they're outcutting them by a little. So, you know, that's a major accomplishment. And you get a lot of bigger YouTubers, and they're promoting all these guys and saying that they're a good company. And I'm not doubting that they're a good company, you know, or I guess they wouldn't have business, but they get on there and they've got a large following, and they're telling all these people that this company is the business of porting saws and blah, 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 blah. They've not even ever run a saw that's been ported by them. So how can they tell, you know? And they're charging quite a bit for a ported 500i, a whole lot more. Like, by the time I get my 500i ported, you know, of course they're about $1,500 unless you can go to your dealer, and my dealer knocks some money off. So I think I got mine for like $1,350, tax and all, or maybe $1,400. And then by the time I get it ported, I'm gonna have about $1,800 in it. And this company's charging over $2,000, like $2,100, nearly $2,200, and who knows on shipping and all that. So that's quite a bit of more money. So what I'm getting at is you can shop around, and I'm not knocking that company or knocking the YouTubers. I just think, you know, I'm speaking about, I promote Aaron and Cajun, and I do that because I've ran their saws. I've been running this 572 and 592 quite a bit. And you know, just like anything, any machine or anything with a motor mechanical, you know, something could go wrong at any minute. It may not be their fault, or, you know, it may not have been nothing to do with the porting, or it could have been, but, you know, nothing lasts forever. I understand that, but what I'm saying is, to me, I'm not going to get on there and promote somebody unless I've ran one of their saws, is what I'm saying. So, take that as what you may, do what you want to, but if you'll shop around, you can find good porters and things like that that will not charge you just an arm and a leg, and they'll have a strong, reliable work saw, and they can more custom build to your needs. You know, whether you want a high revving saw or a more torquey saw, a lot of compression or not a lot of compression, or whatever, you know, instead of just a basic run-of-the-mill, shipping them out like factory work port job, you know what I'm saying, that cost you twice as much as like a custom builder would do. But I'm just mainly speaking on this to the newer people that's looking at ported saws, or you know, guys that don't know much about ported saw and are wanting to know. I've had a couple people ask me and everything, and so that's the route I would go. But for everybody else that watches and that's been in the game for a long time and got your own porters or know everything, you know, you're going to do what you want to anyway. But I'm just saying, to all the new people out there, just be careful of what you watch on YouTube. That's why you'll never hear me say that, oh, you got to do it my way, or you got to do what I do, or you're wrong. You just got to do what makes you happy. And I think it's kind of odd that you get big YouTubers supporting all this stuff and they've not really used the product, and the only reason they're doing it is because they're getting something out of it, you know. So whatever. And I ain't saying that I ain't ever, you know, like I did that for Hypa 360 or whatever, but I actually used their parts before I ever even got to, you know, got them giving me anything. And once they did give me chain and whatnot, I ran it ran it on YouTube and give my honest review. If it wasn't worth the crap, I would have told you. But it's you know, like the chain and stuff, it's decent chain, just about as good as any other chain that I've run. And the carburetors and whatnot, they're pretty decent, but you know, they're an off-brand carburetor. You're gonna have trouble out of them every once in a while. So anyway, that's enough on that. I'm gonna get to work on this tree up. If I can start my saw.